Now, when, not if, but when you deal with frustrated clients, with those difficult clients, you need to know what to do. And every one of us is going to deal with this. That's what we're going to be talking about right now. This is Difficult Clients 101, how to turn frustrations into opportunities. And yes, you can do this. You can turn those frustrated clients into more engaged, more committed clients where you retain them longer. You can cross sell, you can upsell, you can make it into more opportunities, even though they come in all mad, all sad, all frustrated. Doesn't matter. You can turn it around and create more opportunity. Now, every business, okay, not just us, not just you, every business has difficult clients. Now, let me just tell you this. There's this about 10% of people out there in the world that no matter what you say, no matter what you do, they're just going to have this bad attitude. They're those negative people who, no matter what happens to them, they're just going to be negative. Okay. Now, it's sad for them. And broken people break others, hurt people hurt others. They're going to take it out on you. And I'm sorry that it happens for you, but there will be this 10% that you're not going to be able to really change their mind much. You can still be respectful. You can still do a great job. And they're still just going to be angry, difficult people. Now, all the other people, the other 90% that come in, maybe they're just having a bad day. Maybe their kid is sick. Maybe their parents are in the hospital. Maybe they just broken up with somebody. Maybe they're having a hard time financially. There's so many different reasons, as you and I know, that we go through ourselves. We go through struggle. Life isn't easy. And so 90% of the time, these are just good people. We're just having a bad day, a bad week, a bad time in their life. So understand that you will deal with it. Now, these difficult clients, they are probably the most often ones that will drain our time, that will drain our energy, yes or no. So we have to learn how to deal with them. Now, 68%, write this down, 68% of customers leave. They leave the company. They will leave. Why? Not because of the price, not because of the product, but because of the customer service, because they feel undervalued. They don't feel valued. They don't feel important. They don't feel heard. They don't feel understood. And 68% of those difficult clients that come will leave for that very reason. So you can actually save, you can build your book of business by bettering your customer service, by bettering your ability, your team's ability to deal with difficult clients. All right. Now, handling challenges, clients, when you have challenging clients and when you handle them poorly, what does it do? It drains you, drains your time. It not only hurts the morale, but it hurts the bottom line. It hurts your pocket. It hurts your team's pocket. It hurts the company's pocket, right? It hurts the money flow when you're not able to deal with those difficult clients. So yes, it burns up your energy, drains you, messes up your day. Yes, it can do all those things. Yes, it messes up the morale of your team. It can do all that, but it also hurts your bottom line. It also hurts the money that you're going to make. So this training is going to teach you how to turn those clients that are frustrated, those frustrations into opportunities, into loyalty, into growth, right? Because with the right strategies, you can definitely turn those 10 situations into a win-win for both sides. That's what we're going to learn how to do. I'm going to give you three very simple, practical things that you're going to be able to take notes on now, but be able to apply today to get results today. That's the whole point of these trainings. Very simple, practical. I don't want them complicated. I want it something that you can do and apply today. So number one, write it down. Stay calm. Right. Stay calm. Breathe. Don't get all like in your head and be like, this mother, beep, beep. Nobody talks to me like that. You know, I'm just trying to help you and I didn't even do this. Like, you know how we get sometimes. And even though like outside, we're just like, inside we're thinking all these things, right? Like this mother freaking mother, I want to kick his mother. Okay, yes, but this is where we need to build our emotional intelligence, and we'll have some trainings on that as well. But you have to learn how to stay calm, and just remember this. Okay, this helps me when I get those difficult people. I have this thought in my mind. I ask this question to my brain: if this person had love in their lives, if they had clarity, if they had hope, if they had purpose in their life, if they had peace in their heart, would they be treating me this way? Would they be talking like this? Would they be behaving this way? Then, of course, the answer is no, right? Like, no. So then now instead of being hurt by them and offended by them, I hurt for them because I start to get my mind right. I put myself in their shoes like, hey, I've had bad days. right? Now, if this person had peace, if they had love, if they had hope, if they had purpose, if they had clarity, they wouldn't be like this. So that's my job. It's my job to give them that clarity, to give them that love, to give them that hope, to give them the answers, to give them the solutions, so that way they can calm the down. You know what I'm saying? So stay calm. Stay calm. Now, here's the problem. When you start to respond with frustration, like, shoot, nobody talked to me. Hey, excuse me, Mr. Mrs. Client. Like, first of all, can you lower your voice? Because nobody, like, no, that's just going to escalate the situation. Yes, I'm not saying that it's right how they're treating you, how they're talking to you. That has nothing to do with it. Doesn't mean that it's right or it's okay. All right. Now, it just means that you and I need to be the more mature one, the more understanding one, especially when we're in the professional, circumstance, when we're working. You should be able to apply this at home and out there in the world as well. But especially when you're in the work environment, you have to learn how to respond with more professional manner. No matter what the client's tone is like, you have to be able to stay calm and professional and respectful. And so here's some practical tips on how you can do that. Because I know we have these buttons that can be pushed, right? They're pushing our buttons, and it triggers things of how people in our past or people in our present, how they've spoken to us, how they treated us. And we told ourselves, I'm never going to allow somebody to treat me like that again, to talk to me that way again. And we create these defense mechanisms that you and I have. And again, we'll get deeper into these things as we get into not past the 101, into the intermediate, into the mastery, into the full day trainings. We're going to get deeper into these things, but don't allow people to push your buttons. All right. You need to deal with your own buttons so that they can't be pushed. And when they are pushed, when you get that frustration, that anger, that defensiveness come up, these are some practical tips that you can apply, right? Whether it's in the workplace or not, you can apply these things. All right. So number one, take a deep breath before you respond, because you want to be able to reply, not react. And if you, like, when they say something that triggers you, you'll notice that your face gets to tense up and your body gets to tense up, and you'll feel this heat that comes from the bottom and it starts to work its way up. And you're just like, so you have to be able to stop it before it goes blah, before it comes out, right? You have to be able to stop it before that. So right here, when it's in the stomach, that's where you need to take a deep breath before you react. That's going to help you to kind of get some oxygen to your brain, because you're just like you can see some steam coming off of you right there. No, take a deep breath. That way you can respond and not react, so you can avoid those emotional reactions. Don't let them push your button. Don't let them. All right. Here's another thing. Use neutral phrases. Neutral phrases. What does that mean, Richard? So an example, very simple. Okay. So they're like, why this? Why did you do that? And it's not even you. Okay. Yes, I know. A lot of times it has nothing to do with you. But hey, you're the one that answered. You're the one that's representing the company. So guess what? Yes, it's because of you. So just take responsibility. Take it. Don't take it personal, but take the responsibility to be like, all right, I understand your concern. Let's work on the solution together. Okay. I'm sorry that you're frustrated. I don't want you to feel that way. I'm going to do my best to come up with many solutions for you, so that way we can figure this out. How does that sound? Right? You have to be, don't ignore it and don't go and fight against it. Make them feel understood. Hey, I understand your concern. So let's work on this together. Let's see what we can do. And let's try to do this quickly for you. Okay. Let's make this happen. So you want to use neutral phrases like that. Like, hey, I understand. Let's fix this. Another thing is maintain open body language. Don't start to, like, especially if you're in person, don't be like, start getting your little attitude, neck movement like this, where you're like getting your hands, like you're like making your little faces. Like, no, it's not time for that, because that's just going to get them to react more. So use neutral phrases, but also neutral body language, neutral tone, neutral facial expressions. And that means you have to be very present, and because otherwise we get triggered and we could take a deep breath, but our face starts to get like, and that gets them to be more defensive. You want to defuse the situation. You want to get them to calm down. But if your face is like, they're going to know that they have to raise it up, because they want to be heard right now. They want this problem to be fixed. So you want to show like, hey, yeah, I'm here for you. I'm on your side. You want to show them with your face, with your tone, with your body language. You're not going to cross your arms. You're not going to churn yourself. You're not going to be looking for somebody else to help, because they're like, what are you looking at? Like, be here with me. Listen to me. Right? So even if you're on the phone, it makes a difference. So if you start to like get tensed up and cross your arms, even over the phone, it's going to come out in your tone. You're going to generate an energy, an emotion. that's going to come out in what you say, in your words, right? Because your words are not just this vibration that's going through like the phone line and they can hear it. No, there's actual substance on what you're saying, and they can feel your frustration if you are. So this is where you take a deep breath. I understand your concern. Let's work on this together, right? You're even smiling. You have open shoulders, chest out. You're open. You're available. You're engaged. You're fully here for them. Even if you're over the phone, you want to generate that kind of body language. Okay. So here's an example of when your client says, this is just unacceptable. You respond calmly. You know what? I hear your frustration. I hear it. And let's figure out how to solve this. Okay. I want to make sure I solve this for you. You see, you want it. It's your tone. It's your body language. It's your rhythm. It's what you say, because you're like, hey, I hear your frustration. I understand. And I'm sorry you're feeling this way. I'm going to do my best right now to make sure we resolve this quickly. Okay. And you do a little pause and you're open. You're not like, you know what? Hey, I get it. I get it. Let's just fix it. No. Calm, cool, and collected. You got this. Okay. So now here's number two. Number two part. Find the root cause. Find the root cause. And this is where you're going to make them feel understood. This is where you're going to start to make them calm down and feel heard and feel valuable and not feel like, remember, people leave. Why? Because they don't feel valued. They feel undervalued. This is where you're going to make them feel valued, because you're not just going to hear what they're saying and just try to fix it to get them out. No, you really want to make them feel understood. You want to find the root issue. So the problem comes in when the client comes in to vent about some surface thing and they're frustrated. Well, there's a real deeper concern there. Sometimes it's a personal thing, but a lot of times it's with some other issues in the service, in the product, in something with the business, and they're saying superficial things because they're just coming out of anger, coming out of frustration. So we have to learn how to ask thoughtful questions to uncover the true problem, to get to the real deal, to get to the root of the problem. There's roots to that fruits. You understand? Like when you have a plant that has a fruit tree, okay? And the way that it's going to produce that fruit is going to depend on the roots. So if there's bad roots, rotten roots, guess what? The fruit is going to be bad too. The fruit is determined by the root. You guys getting that illustration there? So as the agent, as the customer service, as the professional, we not only want to hear and just get stuck on the fruits, on the behaviors, on the words of what they're saying. We don't want to just get stuck on the fruit. We want to understand the fruit, make them feel understood there, but then we want to ask thoughtful questions to help uncover the real problem, the root of the problem. So here's some practical tips here. Use open-ended questions. An open-ended question versus a closed-end question. When you ask a closed-end question, they can answer yes or no, and that's it. If you ask an open-ended question, they can't just say yes or no to it. They have to be able to share more. And that's the point. You want them to be able to talk more, communicate more. So for an example, is that, can you tell me more about what's bothering you? They can get frustrated even more because now they're going to want to express it for you to hear, right? So you listen, okay? Oh, okay, I understand. Now, when you say this, maybe there's an issue that they're saying like, oh, because you guys never answered the phone. You guys never pick up. Okay, when you say we never pick up, just for my understanding, like when did you call? How many times did you call? Where did you call? Because I want to make sure that our phones are operating right. I want to make sure that I go deal with the problem. So if it's one of our agents that didn't answer, I want to make sure I go solve that and fix that for you, okay? You see how like even that question, the way I'm asking it, will get me to get to the root, but also make sure that I'm hearing them and that I want to fix this from them, not at a surface level. Right? So it's also giving me more information to know where is the real problem here. So you want to have some good open-ended questions that you can begin to ask to get to the roots of this fruit, of this behaviors. Another thing is to paraphrase their responses to prove that you understood. So don't just say, oh yeah, I totally understand, but you didn't prove it. How do you prove it? By paraphrasing. So you paraphrase what they said. So an example. So the main concern that you said was how service took too long and you called many times and nobody answered and you didn't get the solution that you needed. Is this correct? I want to make sure that I'm hearing you. And you're giving your full attention. Even your tone is concerned. It's interested. I really want to help you. I value what you're saying, right? So as you're paraphrasing, your tone, your body language, your facial expressions are all in agreement saying, I am here for you. But when you ask open-ended questions to get more of the information, you're gathering what you need. Now, when you have what you need, you're going to give it back in paraphrasing form. You're going to repeat and rephrase to prove to them. Don't just say, I understand you now, and then move on. Prove. How do you prove it? By you repeating, by you rephrasing what they said to you to prove without a doubt that you did hear them and you did understand them. That is key. And so many people, they just surpass that. They just want to, okay, I understand you. And maybe you do understand. Maybe you understand 100%. Awesome. But that doesn't mean they feel understood. And that is key to make them feel valuable. That is key to validate their feelings. That is key to be able to turn their frustration into an opportunity to repeat and rephrase what you heard them say, to prove that you understood them. Now, also avoid defensiveness. Focus on listening to them rather than just explaining. So when you're listening, you're not listening to reply. You're listening to understand. You're not listening just to be like, oh, that's because this happened, this happened. They don't want to hear all that freaking story. They want to feel understood, and they want to feel that this is going to be fixed, period. Okay, so here's an example. When you have a client that comes in upset about pricing, they might actually feel like they didn't receive enough value. So maybe they're saying, oh, this price is too much. Maybe it's not that they can't afford it. It's just they're matching the price and the value, and it doesn't match. They're like, what I'm paying, I'm not getting the value the same. So just because they're complaining and upset about the pricing doesn't mean that they can't afford that or are not willing to pay it. They just, in their brains, that has to be like, well, it has to make sense. So this is where you can ask another question, right? Like ask, so what result were you hoping for here? What is the result? What is the solution that you're looking for? What is the outcome that you're looking for so I can help you to do that, right? So this is what you start to ask. So now, number 3. So now you get into that. Number 1, you're getting into, okay, stay calm, take a deep breath, right? Use neutral responses, use open body language, say the right thing. So that way you can get to finding the root issue, because at this point, when you're having the right, body language, just the facial expressions, you're staying calm, you're going to start to diffuse them a little bit, make them feel safe. This is where it sets you up to be able to ask those open-ended questions, to rephrase what you heard them say. Now you're getting the real information, making them feel understood. Now they're really going to start to be diffused. Now you can start to do number 3, which is offer their solutions, provide solutions. See, leaving clients without options, keyword options, not just here's how I'm going to fix it. Here is this one way we're going to fix it. No, you want to give options. And if they don't have options, you're going to create some more frustration there, or they're going to leave still feeling frustrated. So what you want to do is you want to offer 2 to 3 different solutions, clear solutions, and let them choose. See, it puts them in like I'm in control. Like I got what I needed. I told them. Yeah, make them feel that way, like they won. Look, I heard you. I made sure I feel understood by repeating it back. Now here's a few things that I can do for you. What would you like me to do? I can fix it this way. I can fix it this way. I can fix it this way. Just 2 to 3. Just make them feel like there's options here, so that we're like, okay, well, I want you to do that. Sure, I will do that for you. They feel like they won, right? And that's how you want them to feel. So here's some practical tips on how you can do that. So online, or outline realistic, actionable things that you can do for them. Like in those options, make it like a little outline. You can even write it down, communicate to them very clearly, outline realistic things that you can do for them. Okay, so here, this is what I can do. I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. I can expedite the next shipment. I can offer you a discount on your future orders. I can add this on there. I can make sure that I follow up with you at the end of the day. After I solve this problem, we can have another meeting, so that way I can go over everything with you and make sure you don't have any more questions. How does that sound? You want to outline the actionable options that you're going to take, right? Then also, so outline and then emphasize. Emphasize the shared goals. So something that is shared, something you both want. So our priority is ensuring that you're satisfied with this outcome. And that's their goal too, right? They want to make sure that they're satisfied with this outcome. So you want to communicate that, emphasize that as you're going towards of solving their problem. Like, look, our priority, my priority here is to make sure that you're satisfied with the result that we're doing here. With the way that I'm going to fix it, I just want to make sure that you're good with it 100%. You see how that would make them feel like, okay, good, because that's what I want too. I want to make sure this is done right. Yes, I want to make sure that this is done right for you. See how it starts to diffuse them. So if you have a unhappy client with a product, say, we can replace this. Like, I don't want this anymore. Hey, we can change it. We can fix this. We can refund it. We can find what works best for you. I have other options here that we can make sure it works. Like, you have to be smart, emotionally smart as you begin to give these options here. Okay. So here's an exercise. You have to like practice these things, because when you have that difficult client right there in front of you, it's like they're pushing your buttons. It's going to be hard to really think with your head. You're going to want to react and be defensive, right? So this is why it takes practice. So that way, not if, but when you get these difficult clients, when they're pushing your buttons, when they're reacting, when they're frustrated, when they're vomiting and venting all over you, even though you had nothing to do with it, you want to have these things, this training that you can pull up from, because you're going to default to your level of training. Did you hear that? You're going to default to your level of training. So if you haven't trained this and practiced this, when the real situation comes, you're not going to be able to apply it right there. So this is why role play is very important. So this is the role play that you're going to do. So you have one person that's going to be a difficult client with a specific complaint, right? And then the other one is going to practice staying calm, finding the root issue, and offering options for the solutions, right? And then you rotate roles. That's the role play scenario here. Now, let me give a little summary. Okay, so make sure you do that and apply what we're learning here. So here's a summary. You want to handle these difficult clients because it's not just about resolving their issues, it's about strengthening the relationship that you have with them. It's not about just treating them like a project and just fixing their problem. No, you want to make them feel understood. You want to strengthen the trust. You want to build a relationship with them, right? How do you do that? By staying calm. Don't trip potato chip, right? Stay calm. Uncover the real problem, get to the root, and offer real solutions where you can outline how you're going to do it. This is what's going to make them really, without a doubt, see that you heard them, that you're going to solve it for them. You have options. Like, this is how you're going to defuse them. Okay. This is how you're going to turn that frustration into an opportunity. So here's your call to actions here. Action, action, action. You got to apply it. Number one, identify one challenging client situation that you faced before or recently, hopefully recently, because I know these things happen, and apply the steps to resolve it in your mind. So think, okay, I recently had this client, one of my challenging client situations that you faced, like it could be yesterday, it could be today, right before this training, it could be last week. Oh, I just had one during the holidays. I just had one because, all the rates went up and there were some changes in their policy. There were just changes in their program, and they came frustrated. So I want you to think about that situation and role play for that specific one that you just had. So this is going to be a real situation that you've dealt with, right? And then role play it with somebody around you. So that way you can refine that approach that you did before. You're going to fix it. You're going to better it. That difficult client, that difficult scenario. So that way, not if, but when it happens again, you've already been trained and you're going to default to this level of training. You're going to be able to handle it differently with confidence. Okay. So commit to using these strategies in your next difficult clients and observe how the results begin to really change your life. I'm telling you, these things are going to really impact your peace in your day, your energy. It's not going to drain you anymore because you know how to deal with it. And you know that this is going to happen. So when me and you are more prepared, the better our day is going to go. And again, it's an opportunity to turn their frustrations into more money for your pocket. Now, the way you're going to do it is by training these things. Okay. So again, this is 101 on dealing with difficult clients, how to turn frustrations into opportunities. Now, make sure you guys do the role play and apply what you guys learned here. Use something that you just recently gone through, so that way you can use that as a real example, as a real memory for you to get some training on. Thank you. See you in the next training.